We'll now ask you to turn your attention to the video screens for some more comments from friends and family.
His oldest granddaughter, Sarah, Silly's daughter, when she was preparing to get married, it was our first experience with, the whole being the parent of a young lady getting married. I was up at Leo's house one day and we were talking about all the wedding plans, and that's quite an event. And we were talking about it, and Leo finally says, "Well, Marty, you want some advice?" And I said, "Well, yeah, surely I could use some." He goes, "Just stay the hell out of the way and throw money at it." and that was perfect advice.
The first time I met Leo was in a restaurant in Auburn. I can't actually remember the restaurant, but the circumstances were one of those awkward first meeting the parents of the one that you want to spend the rest of your life with. So it was a really, at first, initially awkward meeting, but then that was one of my first impressions of Leo, is that once you get to know him, he's a funny guy, he's real personable, and he quickly cracked one of his signature jokes and made everyone feel easy, and it was a great dinner, and I was happy that they seemed to like me, and I really liked them a lot.
He was a strong guy when it came to doing the hard stuff, whether it was financial or disciplinary. He did it.
Leo's style of dealing with employees and motivating people, especially his leadership group, was to identify something that they were doing well and compliment them on it. Tell them what a good job they were doing on X. I can tell you, however, personally, that when a person wasn't performing in a manner that was appropriate for the betterment of the company, Leo had no problem bringing that to a head either.
He also was incredibly brilliant at cutting to the chase on anything, whether it was a problem or whether it was a disciplinary act. Now, yes, he would give anyone, probably 4 chances instead of 1, like most employers, to recover from a failing. But Leo never shied away from having the hard talk. He could do that. And he could do it so directly that if you just read the words he said, you'd think, wow, that was harsh. But if you got the delivery, it wasn't harsh at all. He was so clear because he cared about you. He wanted you to have every possibility of fixing what was wrong.
He took me to the woodshed. He took me to Vip's restaurant up in Newcastle, or met me at Vip's, and gave me a good ass chewing for some behavior that I was, some lack of focus that I had going on, and some lack of attention to our people that I was guilty of. And he made no bones about how that was not acceptable and that it was non-negotiable. And he did it in a loving manner, but there was no question that he was disappointed. And of course, hell, having the chief disappointed with me. I was only 3 years into the company by then, and that was a tough pill to swallow. But at the end of our meeting, we're both walking to our cars. He calls across the parking lot and he says, "Jimmy, this is going to be okay. Just go do what you do." And so, I took some heart with that, and it was a good thing.
But no matter what the subject of the meeting was, or just stopping by to say hello, before he left you, he paid a compliment. Always. And it wasn't like he scripted it that way. That's who he was. He would make you feel like you had done a good job, even if he just scolded you or disagreed with you about something. And he'd tell you, you're doing a good job.
If there was a character trait in a person that was totally unacceptable to Leo French, I would term that as selfishness or meanness.
He disliked mean people, meanness. It was, you could have someone in your midst that was extremely productive, very good financially for the branch, But if they were mean and unkind repeatedly and not good to their peers, they would not be here. They just couldn't be here, couldn't reside with us.
We're a pretty patient group. We don't throw people out right away, but people who want to behave that way, Leo had no time for them, and we've tried to carry that banner as well.
He just was always thinking of others. And I think that's why his company was so successful. He wasn't worried about himself and the dollar as much as he was taking care of people. He wanted to take care of people, and he did a wonderful job of it.
He was my confidant, my mentor, and my inspiration in every day, the things that I did. He always knew the right things to do in every situation, and always felt comfortable with him, and loved the man.
He had no idea his charismatic personality. I don't think he realized how special it was.
He had the ability to nuzzle up to you, be close to you, and you could be comfortable with him. You could believe in him, even when things went bad.
And he helped me through my fear of public speaking. He always made me feel comfortable being around him. And I think that was such a great quality to have.
Wow. He, the handwritten notes I would often get on the desk was very endearing to me. And he treated everybody the same. He didn't, for being a founder, he didn't come across that way. He was just an everyday guy. And I hope to be more like that.
Leo French was not only a great mentor, was not only a great leader, he was just a good friend, not just to me, but to a lot of our people. And I know our people benefited from their relationship with Leo. He was a father figure. He was a brother. He was an uncle. He was all the best parts of a family member were embodied by the guy. And if Leo had your back was covered, no sweat.
Well, I think every moment with Leo was meaningful. And I thought about if there was any one conversation or meeting that was special to another, they were all special. Leo was a special person. There was no one could ever replace Leo French.